All right, so here, elbows are there. Now they're tucked into my side, leaning forward. Good stretch in the triceps. Good press at the top. All right guys, Gary Walker here and welcome back for another video. This is gonna be a cool video for you guys over 40 because this is all about building arms now that you're 40, 50, 60 or beyond. All right, because one thing you really wanna focus on is hitting the biceps correctly and hitting the triceps correctly. I'm also gonna show you a forearm exercise, all right? So 2 different variations for the arms. We're gonna start with the biceps. I'm gonna show you 2 exercises for the biceps. Then we're gonna move into the triceps. So we're gonna do 2 of my favorite tricep exercises, and then we're gonna finish off with the forearms, all right? Here's the setup of the workout. I'm gonna give you 2 bicep exercises. You're gonna wanna do 4 sets of each of those exercises. Once you've completed those, you're gonna move on to the tricep exercises and do 4 sets of each of those. So that's 8 total sets. Again, just 2 exercises, 4 sets each. So that's gonna be sufficient volume to help with your arm growth. All right, so quickly the biceps. You've got the bicep here, you got the short head on the inside and you got the long head on the outside. And you also got the brachioradialis right here. So that's actually gonna help supinate and pronate. That's what this muscle is responsible for. So what is supination? Let me quickly get into that. Supination, basically if your hands are straight, they're facing each other, that's a neutral position. As you rotate your wrist this way, that's supination. All right, supination is gonna allow you to get a peak contraction in your bicep. Then you've got your pronation, which is opposite. So again, back to the neutral hand position, palms facing down, that's pronation. All right, so when you're doing things in a neutral position or a pronated position, that tends to work more of the long head of the bicep, the outside of the bicep. Anytime you're supinating and getting that peak contraction, that's the ball on the inside, that's the short head of the bicep. So that's why I'm choosing the 2 exercises that I'm choosing. All right, with that said, let's get into these actual exercises. The first one we're gonna do is an incline dumbbell curl, all right? So let me grab a couple dumbbells here. I'll show you a couple things I really want you to focus on when you're doing this exercise. One thing you wanna make sure, you'll notice this incline position, you're not too far leaned back. I see a whole lot of people lean back a lot further than this. You want enough to where you're just getting, by dropping your arms straight to the ground, you're getting a full stretch in the biceps. That's the key point here. All right, and from this position, you want to maintain that chest out position, shoulders back, and then you're just gonna curl the weight up. The key thing when you're curling the weight up is keeping your elbows pointed towards the ground. Reason I say that is if you're in this position at the top, you still got a lot of tension on the bicep. Whereas if you drive those elbows forward, which I see a lot of guys do, they'll drive the elbows forward. Now I'm more in a rested position, a lot less tension here on the biceps. All right, so again, just drive those elbows back, keep them locked in that position. You also want to control these when you do these. Let me show you a couple more. So again, bring them up, supinated position, really focus on squeezing the biceps at the top. Slowly control the weight on the way down. Nice stretch, right back to the top. This is one of my favorite bicep exercises because of the deep stretch that you get. This bottom here, and you're allowing this full stretch to take place. So that's gonna help work the full muscle bellies as well, all the way from the bottom of the tie-in to the top of the tie-in. All right, so that's the first exercise we're gonna go with. Again, your goal is, let's say 8 to 10 reps, and you're gonna do this for 4 sets. So what I always recommend when working biceps is rest 45 to 60 seconds between sets. You don't need a whole lot more rest and recovery between the sets than that. So if you do that, that's gonna also ramp up the intensity of the workout. All right, so the next exercise we're gonna do is a hammer curl. All right, hammer is keeping the palms in that neutral position. So palms are facing each other. Again, if you remember what I mentioned at the start of this video, this position is gonna allow you to target more of the outer head of the bicep. All right, just like that. And it's the same thing. Anytime you're working your biceps, you wanna make sure chest is out, shoulders are back, elbows are fixed into the side position. Curl that weight up, hold the flex, slowly lower the weight. Flex it, slowly lower under control. All right, same rep range here, shoot for 8 to 10 reps. And you want to choose a weight that's challenging within the 8 to 10 reps. Don't stop at 10 if you really think you can do 14 or 15. If you can do 14 or 15, then the weight's too light. Try to get a weight that's going to keep you right in that 8 to 10 rep range. That's going to be the same with all these exercises. But this is my 2 bicep exercises that I'm recommending. Now I'm going to go into one of my all-time favorite tricep exercises. This can be done a couple different ways. I'm going to show you on an easy bar curl. So this is overhead tricep extensions. I've always liked using an easy bar curl because it feels a lot more natural on my wrist. Whereas you definitely don't want to use a straight bar. You'll see guys doing straight bar overheads. That's really hard on not only your wrists, but your elbows as well. So this is allowing for a lot more natural position. If you don't have an easy curl bar, you can also do these with dumbbells. So obviously with dumbbells, you can move into a comfortable position to make sure your wrists and your elbows are feeling nice and strong and not in pain when you're doing this movement. But with this one here, basically what you want to do, get this overhead, just like this. Nice stretch. Keep your core tight. Don't bend, all right, at the waist. Keep that core tight. Elbows straight up, and then you're going to stretch. Nice big stretch at the bottom, and then raise that weight back to the top, and focus on squeezing the triceps at the top. Control the weight on the way down every time as well. 1001, 1002, 1003. Nice control. Little pause at the bottom. Straight back up. 1001, 1002, 1003. That control on the way down is going to make this a safer movement on these elbows. Show you a couple more here. Again, similar to the bicep incline curls that I like. This tricep exercise here, overhead tricep extensions, is going to give you a tremendous stretch in the triceps. Big stretch there, great contraction at the top. So 8 to 10 reps with this as well. Again, going for 4 sets. All right, now we're going to move on to another one of my favorites. Here's the thing with we're going to do parallel bar dips. Thing with the parallel bar dips, a lot of guys can do these really easily. All right, you can do your own body weight. If that's the case, same situation here, 8 to 10 reps. So I would rather you do a weighted dip. So get a belt, attach a little bit of weight to it. It can be 10 pounds, 25 pounds, 45 pounds, whatever it takes to fall within that 8 to 10 rep range. All right, but the other key thing I want you to focus on when you're doing these is keeping those elbows into your side and tucked in. All right, and then go ahead and lean. Let me show you what I'm talking about real quick. Instead of being completely upright, I would rather you lean forward slightly. That's going to take some of the stress off of your shoulder joints. All right, so here, elbows are there. Now they're tucked into my side. Leaning forward. Good stretch in the triceps. Good press at the top. Stretch. Press. Again, keep those elbows in tight. Press. Keeping those elbows in tight is also going to help keep the stress on the triceps more than the chest, because you can do parallel bar dips and create more emphasis on the actual pecs, the lower chest. But as long as you're keeping those elbows in nice and tight and you're going with this limited range of motion, you're really going to focus more on the triceps. So this is probably my favorite tricep mass builder. I love doing the parallel bar dips, but again, you got to challenge yourself. If you can rep out 20, 25, 30 reps with this, then I would rather you add some weight, increase some weight. That's going to help pack on a little bit more muscle density and mass. All right, so this is my second tricep exercise. Now let's come over here and I'm going to show you the last forearm exercise. Forearms, we're basically going to do a wrist curl, which is a wrist movement. Let me get a dumbbell over here. You can do these on a straight bar, or you can do them with dumbbells. All right, you can do these either way, and I'll show you what I prefer to do. Let's get this to a flat position. All right, I like to have my forearm in a horizontal position, parallel to the floor. From here, you're just going to want to roll the weight down, and I actually like to get it all the way down into the fingertips. All the way down, curl it up, and then bring that wrist up, working those flexors. Again, let's go all the way down, roll it, and then curl it up. You can do a little bit higher rep range here. 12 to 20 reps is going to be really good for the forearms. Nice, slow, under control. You'll notice that's the theme I'm trying to continue to harp on, is keep all these movements under control. It's the safest way to do these. All right. So that's all you'll do, and then switch to the other side. Again, if you got a straight bar, you can do the barbell with these as well. But doing these exercises, you can actually do this as long as there's a couple days rest in between. You can do this routine twice a week if you really want to pack on size and start focusing on growing your overall arms, all right? Because again, we're hitting the biceps from both angles. We're hitting the short head, long head. We're hitting the brachioradialis, and we're also doing the triceps with 2 mass movements, a good stretch movement, good mass builder, and you're hitting the forearm. So this is gonna help you work the entire sleeve, which is what I like to call it. But hope you like this video. If you have any questions, please comment below. Other than that, get busy, get after it, and God bless.